Welcome, everyone. This is Andres Restart. Tonight, we're talking about that official Xbox podcast that happened today and how this relates to Nintendo. Um, I do think that there were things said there. I think what I'm going to do, because I listened to it earlier, it wasn't a very long segment. I think we can play it and actually listen to what they literally said. And so, for those watching, during the fact of this live stream or after the fact, you can listen to it to yourself if you haven't already, and then we can all kind of come to a conclusion of what it may or may not mean. I'll put up a poll once we put up the video, and we'll also have an official tweet from Xbox themselves that kind of it basically just says what they said during the podcast. But I think there are some lines that happened during the podcast that kind of hint at an event coming. That's kind of what they speak to. Yeah, let me put on a little bit of background music here. Hold on. What do we put it on? Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah, just set up more. But yeah, that is the plan. Let me adjust this. Okay. Guys, if you could let me know how everything looks and sounds. Let me know if the background music is too loud. Let me know how I sound, how I look. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this, right? Because obviously there has been no direct today, if you haven't heard or you haven't noticed. And a lot of people thought that there would be a direct today, right? I thought there would be a direct today. I honestly did. And I already put up the video earlier today. Maybe some of you have already watched it, right? I talked about what I think is going on. Of course, I don't know what is going on, right? I could be wrong. So, don't take my word as gospel. I do not know, right? And what I've tried to do is explain why I think what I think, right? I try and give you guys, I try to be transparent and explain my thought process, right? I saw someone comment today saying that I don't say I think, that I say I know as if it's going to happen, which is, I'm pretty sure, a straight lie. I'm pretty sure people are actually people get more mad at me because I don't say things definitively. Even like in like normal life, like my dad's like, "Hey, so you think you could come over tonight for dinner or something?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's possible. That may happen. I will try to come." And he gets mad at me for not saying, "Well, can't you just say that you will be here for sure?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna try, but you never know. The weather, there could be a meteor shower, there could be a zombie apocalypse. All of these fall under the 1% chance that something may happen, right? 99% of the time I will be there." So, I try to be careful about, speaking in absolutes. So, if for whatever reason I ever have been, if it's ever been construed that I'm saying, "Oh, this is for sure 100% happening," I don't know. I just say what I think is happening, but I present the information. And during this live stream, we will be presenting the information from the Xbox podcast that I do think strongly hints at events that have to do with Sony and Nintendo, where Microsoft games will be coming to those platforms. So, what does that mean? I think it means the partner showcase, but we'll get into that. But let me check with the chat here. Kevin Miller says everything looks and sounds good. Thank you very much. Hello to everyone. Hello there, Nintendo Prime. Hello there, Retro Cheats, Andrew, Aaron, Anthony Smith, Tom Tative. Hello there. Nathan Walker. Hello. Hello there, Ashley. Hello there, Eli. Hello there, Kappa. Having Hope also says everything looks and sounds great. Thank you, Having Hope, and hello to you as well. Hello there, Nick Brown. Ashley, everything so far so good. Awesome. Thank you. Bro and Ashley, what does this mean for Switch 2 in March? So that's a good question, right? So what I think, where I think a lot of the confusion lies right now, is that a lot of people think that the rumor of a partner showcase has been debunked. And the thing about the rumor of the partner showcase is it came alongside Switch to reveal in March. But where I think the distinction needs to be made is that the rumor of the partner showcase did not come with a specific date. That was never the case. What happened was that another place, Universe and Nintendo, reported that was supposed to happen on the 15th, right? A direct. And so, with the rumor of the partner showcase and then the report of the 15th, people assumed that they were one and the same. That at that point is not, we do not know if that is the case, right? So the point is, if there is still a partner showcase that happens in the month of February, the rumor is not false, but it hasn't happened yet, right? And typically we get a direct in the first or second full week of the month. So rumor or not, though, we are in an interesting uncharted territory right now, because Nintendo hasn't gone a January and a February without having some sort of major presentation. 2017, we had the January Switch presentation, and then we had a direct in April in 2017, right? But January was the big Switch presentation. 2018, we had a direct mini in the first 2 weeks of January 11th, and then we had a big direct in March. So there was a mini back in 2018. 2019 was a February direct. 2020, there was nothing in January, but there was a big Animal Crossing direct in February, and then there was a March mini afterwards, right? And then most other years it's been just a February direct, basically. So right now we had nothing in January, not a mini, nothing, no presentation, nothing, and so far nothing for February. We assume we're getting at least a Pokemon Presents at the end of the month, because that's how it's always been the last few years. We'll see. Anyway, moving on. Aspie Pill adds me, with Microsoft announcing a new console for holiday and Sony potentially releasing hardware of some sort, the Reality Switch 2 2025 is a real possibility. Did they announce a new console? Did Sony? It's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible. Hold on a second. Probably hearing things. Yeah, it's definitely not impossible, but I think we just got to be patient. The M52 adds me. I always say I plan to because it's more honest than I will. LMAO. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes plans can change, right? Plans can change. So, there is definitely that. Hello there, Sam. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Redcap. NGL, I assume, not gonna lie, I got a respect for a certain insider today. Crazy how offended someone can get over this stuff. Oh, you lost a lot of respect for a certain insider today. Crazy how offended someone can get over this stuff. Yeah, I don't want to dive into that. Just because, I mean, if you saw the situation, I think you would understand why I don't want to dive into that. But it is unfortunate that we all can't just get along. It's odd. It's odd. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. Hello there, Adam Roan. Hello there, Michael Jeremiah, or is it Jeremiah? Thank you for coming in. You say you love my content. I appreciate that. That honestly helps a lot. Thank you. Hello there, Sam West. Hello there, Barry. How are you? How you doing? Zenpai Studios. Hello there. Adam Roan has renewed their membership. Been a member for 10 straight months as a Legends Plus member. Hello to you as well, Adam. All right. So I hear I see the real arrow. I think the big problem is so many Nintendo content creators have done nothing but videos on Switch 2 and direct rumors, but then place blame on insiders, and people are just tired of rumors now. I mean, I definitely think that there's certainly a lot of exhaustion right now. I'm personally exhausted. Last 2 weeks have been pretty negative on the channel. A lot of the comments have been pretty hateful. I would say some of it has been slanderous. Not all of it. A lot of you have been really nice. A lot of you have kept me going. So I don't want to say it's been 100% negative. It has not been 100% negative. It's just been a lot more negative than usual. And I think a lot of that has to do with simply people being impatient and wanting the news and wanting to know what Nintendo's going to do. So, Yeah, it's tough, but time will come. The time will come where all this will be cleared up, and we'll have a lot more to talk about. I mean, for me, right? I definitely have talked about the Nintendo Direct a few times. I talked about Switch 2 a few times, right? And I'm going to continue to. I'm not going to stop. But it would be nice to have other things to talk about. I like to vary it up, right? I actually have a Metroid video coming up tomorrow, and I don't think I mentioned a Direct at all during that video. I do mention Switch 2, but the point isn't so much about Switch 2, more so about Metroid Prime 4 and the kinds of changes we're going to see with Metroid Prime 4 that will be needed for it to become a big seller. So I kind of go into like a lot of gameplay changes we can see for Prime 4 and how the series may evolve. So I'm actually excited about that video. Probably coming out tomorrow. I already have it recorded. So, and yeah, I'm planning something Pokemon related soon too. And I have a couple Zelda theories I want to try. But the thing is, if I make those Zelda theories, I know they're not going to do well. That's the other thing, right? There's a lot of people who complain about hearing about the same thing every day, but they don't watch the other videos. You don't see those people complaining about it. This is the part that gets me. I'll see people saying, "Oh, another Switch 2 video." Okay. Well, did you watch the Star Fox video I made yesterday? Did you watch the Pokemon video I made last week? No, you didn't. Okay. All right. You just click on the Switch 2 videos and they complain that it's another Switch 2 video. There are other videos. But I think what it is that they only click on Switch 2 stuff, so that's the only thing that's recommended to them. So, optics, if you don't actually click on someone's channel, you'll only see what's kind of like sent to your feed. And obviously Switch 2 is a trending topic because people want to hear about it, right? So while a lot of us, now I don't want to say a lot of us, I think a lot of us want more on Switch 2, but while some people may be tired of Switch 2, the fact of the matter is, if Switch 2 is being recommended, if Switch 2 is trending, it's because people want to talk about it. So it's tricky, but I personally want more variety. But right now with the lack of Nintendo news, it's challenging, but I try. Anyway, I see here I got a super chat from Attack the Backlog. My English is deteriorating. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I enjoyed your show yesterday. Enjoyed being on there. Attack the Backlog. By the way, I was on his show yesterday, his YouTube channel. You can see it there. Attack the Backlog. You search it on YouTube, then you can watch that. Also, Biddy was also on there as well. So definitely, you might want to watch it. Let's see here. Attack the Backlog says Nintendo be like, watch people lose their minds, and we shall drop a partner showcase tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think it's happening tomorrow. I think Japan's probably entering their weekend already. But I think early next week, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But we'll see. We're going to get to the Microsoft stuff soon. I see some people are asking about it. We're definitely talking about this soon. I'm just going to catch up with the chat here, and then we'll dive into it. I got another super chat here from Sam Talks Games. Thank you for super chat, buddy. Sam says or asks, when in March do you think we could see Switch 2, and with what release month? So my expectations haven't changed, right? My expectations are Switch will be revealed by the end of March. I do think that it makes sense to expect a reveal. If you believe the rumor, right? If you believe Switch 2 is getting revealed in March, what makes the most sense is for it to happen before the Game Developers Conference, GDC. So I'm thinking first or second full week of March. That's kind of what I'm thinking when we'll see the Switch 2 announcement. Now, if it's announced then, I think that opens up the door for a summer release. I don't agree with a June or July release just because it feels too soon, and June is usually when we have a big summer blowout from Nintendo, and they could do things differently. They could. And I'll say that anyone who thinks that, I don't think they're crazy. I just don't agree. I think September is still a really good time. But I'm entertaining August though. Like, I'm personally, honestly entertaining August as a potential release time. But this is all with the assumption the Switch 2 is revealed next month, right? If it's not revealed next month, that pushes things up. So, Just putting that out there. We'll see, but that's kind of like what I'm personally thinking right now. Uh, Pitta asks me if there's anything important in the Nintendo Direct, will you make a video on it? Well, I mean, it depends, right? Is it important to me? But yeah, I'm hoping we get some cool stuff. Like, for example, if they announce like a Xenoblade Warriors, I'll talk about that. That's something to talk about. It depends. The thing is, like, this is not an Xbox channel, right? This is not a Capcom channel. This is not a an Ubisoft channel. So like, there are other games I could try talking about. I mean, I guess it's worth the shot, if it's something I'm passionate for, right? Like, I'm passionate about Monster Hunter, so I'd like to talk a little bit more about and I do talk about Monster Hunter sometimes. I'm pretty hyped for Wilds. So there may be a few Monster Hunter videos in the works. I don't think we're seeing anything about Monster Hunter in this partner showcase, though. So we'll see. But definitely, if there's something worthy of note that the Nintendo community is definitely talking about from the partner showcase, I'll find a way to talk about it. The real J Stone asks me, Nintendo YouTubers are admitting it being wrong whenever a rumor came out. I'm not sure what you're saying, but I mean, the one thing I'll admit to being wrong is just believing it would happen this week. Now the story is that it's been delayed. We'll talk on that, right? So supposedly it was supposed to happen today, and plans changed. Supposedly. Snicksnack asks me, have you thought about maybe doing something Let's Play live streams when news is scarce? I think a lot of us would enjoy that. I've done Let's Plays and live streams before. Not that many people watch. I have been thinking about doing like a Minish Cap live stream though. I've been kind of getting the itch to play Minish Cap from beginning to end. So, I'm looking forward to that. Actually, I've also been kind of thinking about doing a new run for Tears of the Kingdom, but like, because there's no master mode, like doing kind of like my own challenge run and maybe like coming up with some sort of ideas for how we could play Tears of the Kingdom, like maybe together, right? Like, you guys think of certain challenges to make playing the game harder. Like, I saw an interesting video the other day where someone who had to traverse Tears of the Kingdom by going in a straight line. I thought it was a really fun experience. So like, thinking of interesting challenges of how to play Tears of the Kingdom would be kind of cool. Like, or maybe one day we just have like a live stream where we're trying to build a castle out of Zonai items or something, or maybe one stream will be about trying to capture a Gleeok and train it as my pet. That's not possible, but it would be an interesting challenge, right? So there's different things we could probably come up with that could be fun. They wouldn't replace my videos though, right? It's just a different kind of content. But yeah, I have thought about doing some live streams like that. They're just not. They'll happen less often. The real JS adds me. Do you believe it would be unwise for Nintendo to release the Switch 2 unveil trailer in March? Peach Showcase is launching at March, and Nintendo doesn't want to be overshadowed. So this is one of those things where Watch Much comes around and there is no Switch to reveal, and then people are gonna be like, well, why would they have done that? They didn't want to overshadow Princess Peach Showtime. And I guess maybe that is a reason why to think they wouldn't. But Princess Peach Showtime comes out late March, right? I want to say March 22, but let me double check that. Princess Peach Showtime. I might be confusing with the Splatoon release date. March 22, 2024. So that is, if I go to March, that is it'll be the fourth Friday of March, but technically the Friday of the third full week of March. So yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying, I'm thinking we have, a reveal in either the first or second full week. So I guess the question is, right? We would think right now Nintendo hasn't announced anything for April through June. You would think that at some point they would, but there's always going to be something coming. You know what I mean? There's always going to be some game you would assume that's about to happen. So, like, what's the thinking, right? If you want to say, okay, well, because of Princess Peach Showtime, they won't do anything in March. All right, well then, what if they announce a game for April? Do they not do anything in April then? Or does it have to be a month where there is just no game coming out? I mean, it's possible, right? Like, I guess they could do that. I personally don't think Nintendo wants to just have a software drought. I think they want to continue the content as much as they can. And also, let's remind ourselves that the people who get Switch 2 immediately, it's not going to be the majority of Switch owners. They'll be able to sell 10 to 15 million at best in the first year of Switch 2. So I'm talking about the calendar year, right? If we account for the fiscal year, I guess it's possible they could do more. We'll see. I doubt it, though. Most people are still going to be playing Switch. So, I mean, how much does Switch 2 really invalidate Princess Peach Showtime? Princess Peach Showtime isn't really necessarily even appealing to, like, the most hardcore Nintendo audience. I don't think I feel like there's a big chunk, like I would say a majority of people who are going to buy Switch 2 day one probably aren't extremely excited about Princess Peach Showtime. Yeah, you have the Nintendo diehards that are going to buy every sort of major Nintendo product, but if they're Nintendo diehards, a Switch 2 reveal doesn't take away from Princess Peach Showtime at all. So I personally don't think that Princess Peach Showtime at all really is at all related to Switch 2. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Now, maybe they don't announce Switch 2 in the same week that Peach Showtime comes out. I can agree to that. But, if we're talking about 2 weeks beforehand, even a week beforehand, does that really matter? I don't think it does. So if Switch 2 is not revealed in March, it would be because of other reasons, not because of Princess Peach Showtime, in my opinion. Let's see here. I see David Lopez with a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, David. David says, it is worth noting that Evening Star didn't even posted anything today regarding Penny's Big Breakaway. They usually post something every 2 days per week. That is interesting, because it is believed that Penny's Big Breakaway is about to be shadow dropped, right? And if they didn't say anything today, it would actually further support the idea that there was a delay. It's an interesting point, something to keep in mind, because I still haven't gone into it, but I think a lot of you already know what I'm alluding to here. But it is interesting that happened. Actually, I want to see. I don't pay attention to their Twitter account, but I want to see if I can look them up real quick and just kind of show people. Let's see here. All right, so Evening Star. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this, because this is a game that people have been expecting will show up in the Direct, right? I have not been paying attention to this, but I've heard other people talk about it. So you guys should be able to see my Twitter account. You can. Okay, cool. All right. So this is their account, right? This is the developer of Penny's Big Breakaway. It's this really cool platforming game that we're expecting to see soon, right? And so they retweeted. They tweeted on February 13th. Penny's Big Breakaway. They didn't do it yesterday for Valentine's Day. They did. That was a repost on the 12th, but it's of gameplay from Digital Foundry. Okay. I mean, they're not posting every day. On the 9th, on the 8th, on the 5th, on the 2nd, like they skip some days, right? So the 9th was, when was the 9th? The 9th was last week. Okay, so, take a little bit of a break, right? You're not going to talk and then the 12th. Okay, so that was Tuesday, right? That was Monday. Okay, so talk Monday, they talk Wednesday, and then they go quiet. Okay. I mean, 9th, 8th, they talk on the 7th, the 5th, they skipped a day. 1st, I don't know. It's yeah. I don't think this is like extremely suspicious, but it's worth noting, as you said. So yeah, it's cool. That I mean, it's a cool thought that the reason that they're being quiet is because they were going to say more, but because the partner showcase was pushed up, they didn't. It's an interesting thought, at least. Definitely. But thank you for the super chat, David. I'm actually really interested in the game. I think I'm gonna buy it. And what I see here, we have a pretty big super chat from Venetus712. Thank you for the super chat. Super awesome of you. Venetus says, "Loved your video today. Don't let the hate watchers get you down. Appreciate you, Andres." Thank you, Venetus. That honestly means a lot because the hate today was pretty strong. I thought it would be. I wasn't surprised, but it sucks. It sucks sometimes when people are just saying shit, and a lot of it's lies, a lot of it's confusion. Some of it, I mean, I think people have a right to be upset and disappointed. So, I think there's definitely some fair things there. But thank you, Venetus. It really does help a lot to hear you say that. Thank you. So let's did I miss anything? All right, let's talk about this Xbox podcast. Let's get into it. Oh, I see you have almost 200 people watching. Didn't even realize. That's pretty cool. Thank you everyone for watching. If you could like the stream, that would be super helpful. I just want to point out tonight's not going to be an extremely long stream, just so we're on the same page. But let me first show you this tweet from Xbox, and then I'll get to the actual podcast where I think there was something that I have to find it though. So we'll get to it anyway. So this is what they tweeted, which is a little bit more clear. All right. So can you guys see it? Yes, you guys can see it. Awesome. All right. So they say, today we're also continuing our commitment to expanding the communities we reach. We are in the process of bringing 4 Xbox games to other platforms. These are games which have been available to Xbox players for at least a year, including hidden gems that deserve to be experienced more widely, and live service games whose communities will benefit from welcoming even more players. We'll share more details on these titles soon. All right, so I want to pull up the Xbox podcast and just listen to a little bit of it, but I can't find it. Well, if I check my history, I'll find it, because of my history, I definitely, I watched it. There it is. All right, cool. So I'm gonna share this. Share this instead. I didn't like their stream. How dare I? All right. Let me lower this for a little bit. Let me know if you guys can hear the podcast. You guys should be able to hear and see it. It's taking a minute to load. That doesn't normally happen.
Hello and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Tina Amini, and we have a very special episode today.
Why is it lagging so much?
Probably tell by the fact that I'm joined by Phil, Sarah, and Matt. Welcome.
Okay, cool.
And we're going to talk about some updates at Xbox. We want to talk about game exclusivity. We want to talk about...
All right, so let's skip ahead.
Let's just go and tackle the exclusivity
let's tackle
question.
Let's here we go.
Because I know it's on the minds of a lot of people. We hear from the community, and that's an important input for us. So we made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles. Just 4 games. Not a change to our kind of fundamental exclusive strategy.
We'll get to the part.
We're making these...
I don't know why it's lagging this much.
Decisions for some specific reasons. We make every decision really with the long-term health of Xbox in mind. And long-term health of Xbox means a growing...
That's annoying. 480p, still not...
platform, our games performing, building the best platform for creators, reaching as many players as we can. We're always looking to learn as a leader.
I could just say, hey, take my word for it.
And to grow. And we think this is an interesting point in time for us to, use what some of the other platforms have right now to help grow our franchises. So we're going to do that.
So these 4 titles, what are they? Can you say?
I'm not going to name those games. The teams that are building those games have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their announcements with the partners. So I don't want to take anything away from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
See, because it was lagging, we didn't get to hear it clearly. I went back a little bit.
Talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
There's another part where it's more obvious. He literally states an event. I'm trying to. There's a part where he literally states an event, but it's just lagging right now. I mean, you guys can watch it on your own, right? Because it's lagging so much, I'm just going to stop it. I'm sorry. It's not supposed to be lagging, but maybe it's because a lot of people are watching it right now, so there's low bandwidth or something. I don't know.
As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their.
Maybe you're right, Super Chris, but I've been able to do this before, so I'm just going to stop it because it's just taking too long. All right. Anyways, if you watch it, right? If you watch it, I'm sorry that it wasn't playing well. That's frustrating, right? But there is a point where he talks about these games, and he talks about them increasing the background music again. He talks about them coming, and that they're not going to announce. You did hear probably a little piece where he said that they're not going to announce them today because they're going to be announced in events really soon. And so these are games not going to Xbox. So these are games coming. They bring up PlayStation and Nintendo Switch during the show. And so it does kind of seem like they're alluding to an event, right, that's about to happen where these games will be announced. And we just got a Sony event, right? Now there could be another one, right? It doesn't have to be a Nintendo, but with the information we've heard, right, it does sort of line up. Earlier today, Jeff Grubb talked about how he heard there was supposed to be a partner showcase, but it was delayed because of the Xbox partner, not the Xbox podcast, right, which the podcast was in response to the fan outcry from last week, right? They had this podcast come out now for that reason. So it is interesting that this is what is going on right now, right? Now, there have been some people who have tried to support the idea that there was supposed to be a partner showcase today and that it was delayed, right? We'll see what actually happens. I do want to address something that I saw in the chat. I love it. I love it. I love this stuff. I love that I can see stuff like this and I can just like literally come at it right now. I love it. So here we go. I know you guys saw it in the chat, right? So here we go. Let's get it raw. Andre, I stand here today to say I refuse to let you slide another time you lied to us all. Your sources are bad and you are bad. So let me tell you something. First off, you're speaking in absolutes. Not a good look, right? Calling someone bad for what reason? Secondly, if you watch any of my videos, I didn't promise anything. The receipts are there. So you either A, have poor listening or reading comprehension, or you're just lying, which is ironic because you're calling me a liar. So, I mean, listen, all you have to do is literally watch the videos. All of it's there. And the fact of the matter is, we're talking about rumors, right? Yeah, that's why you say you have to take them with a grain of salt. So You can call me a liar. That doesn't mean I am a liar. It makes you a liar, though, for saying I said things that I didn't say. So, you know, the receipts are there. Anyone who actually cares to fact check, they'll know the truth. So you can scream loudly like a fool, but anyone who actually cares to check and listen and think critically will know the truth. It's that simple. So, you know, go ahead, live your life, but it's wrong. Anyway, I see Attack the Backlog has gifted a membership. That's awesome, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Let's get it raw. I gave you the attention you so crave, even though you're full of it. So, what are the games that Xbox was hinting at that are coming? I don't know about all these games, right? But I know of them. So, one of them is Pentiment. Another is Grounded. Another is Hi-Fi Rush. And another is Sea of Thieves. These are the supposed games that Microsoft is talking about bringing to other platforms. So it makes sense. It makes sense because they were talking about some live service games and some games that have been on for a while that were like these creative projects. Like Hi-Fi Rush is like a creative project that they probably didn't realize was going to explode the way it did. It is over a year old. It came out January 2023. It's now February 2024. So, you know, that's something right there. Sea of Thieves is definitely a live service game. That's something I've been looking forward to. So, you know, I would love to see both Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves on Switch. And maybe those get announced soon. Now, Nate the Hate did say that he heard Hi-Fi Rush wouldn't be in a direct. So I'm personally not expecting Hi-Fi Rush just for that reason, even though we've seen the trademark and we saw that they had like the different like shirts for the different consoles, it looks like, for Hi-Fi Rush. So I think it's coming, but it may not be announced as soon as we want it to, right? So what is going to be announced during the partner showcase? We don't know. I'm going to guess at least one of these 4 games: Pentiment, Grounded, Sea of Thieves, or Hi-Fi Rush. So I think we'll see at least one of those announced next week. But we'll see. I do not know. I think. So there you go. Anyway. So that's kind of it, really, right? That's kind of what's going on. I mean, I mentioned Jeff Grubb, right? He already said what he said. There's someone on Family Boards who apparently has a track history of leaking, but doesn't do it anymore because, well, they don't like saying something, and then plans change and they get attacked. So they stopped, but they did say, hey, I heard that, yep, it was supposed to happen on Thursday, but then it was canceled. Not canceled, but delayed, right? Because of the Xbox partner. So there's a few different people that have come out and said that. Do you trust them? Do you not? I don't know. That's up to you, right? But let's put it this way, right? If next week comes and there's a partner showcase, I think that's pretty telling. If there's not a partner showcase, then we don't know. But if there is, then, I mean, like, if there's not a partner showcase next week, well, I mean, here's the fact of the situation, right? The rumor is a partner showcase in February. So technically, as long as there's a partner showcase in February, the rumor is not wrong, right? Now, I'm already in the surprised territory, right? Like, I'm already surprised there hasn't been anything. And this is not even based off rumor, just based off historical precedent. We would have gotten something by this point, right? And that hasn't happened. So, you know, we'll see what actually happens. It's hard to say. Yeah, it's tough. But I think really only time's going to tell. Bethany H. If there's not one next week, then the week after that. Then the week after that. Then the week after that. I mean, eventually, right? But I would say if there's not a partner show, it has to be a partner showcase. If there is not a partner showcase in February, then the rumor is wrong. That I think is clear. Now, you know, if we get like say a general direct next week instead, I would say the rumor's wrong because it's not a partner showcase. So, you know, but we'll see. Regardless, though, announcements do have to come sooner or later. We're running out of time here. Jacob dressed back with a super chat. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. I really appreciate that. Jacob says, in my opinion, you have nothing to apologize for. People need to take personal responsibility over their thoughts. You offer rumors. We take what you say and form our own opinions on the matter. You know, I definitely, you know, I understand what you're saying, right? And that is how I try to frame things. It's like, listen, hey, look, this is why I explain why I think something. Or there will be times where I'll tell you, hey, this is not even what I think. This is just what people are talking about right now. And so that does happen too, right? I just try and present possibilities. And sometimes I'll tell you what I think is happening. And sometimes I'll tell you I'm not sure. So, you know, definitely what I most want is I'll present the facts and then I'll offer you my interpretation of those facts. Maybe I'll offer a counter argument or another possibility or two. But ultimately what I want is for people to come up with their own conclusions and ideas and then let me know what they think in not a douchey way in the comments. And that way we can have a conversation about it. It's fun to just kind of talk about and theorize and speculate. And maybe there's a perspective someone might offer I didn't consider, though, that'll make me think, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe there's something to that. So that's what I would prefer. So, but, you know, not everyone handles that way. They just don't. The real J Stone adds me. People have to know this is a speculation channel. This channel is not the only one doing it. Yeah, that is true. I am a speculation channel. That is 100% true. So if I stop speculating, that's what I do. Even like, you know, like the Tears of the Kingdom stuff, right? Still speculation, just about Tears of the Kingdom. You know, like that's typically, there will be times where there won't be a speculation video, but pretty much every video I do is speculation in some way, right? Like, so when we get news on a game, I'll do a trailer analysis. I am analyzing the trailer and I am looking at evidence and thinking about what it's suggesting about the game. That's still speculation. You know, it's just a different kind of speculation. Sometimes I do reviews. Those happen occasionally, and sometimes I just make points about circumstances. But yeah, most of the time it's some sort of theory, speculative discussion. Verum Verbi. Every reasonably intelligent person understands what a rumor is. Sam West. You'll tell us what you want, what you really, really want? Yeah. What I really, really want. Brewing Storm with the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Brewing Storm. Brewing Storm says, unrelated and have put on my tinfoil hat for this one. Got plenty more to share. Feel free to roast if I'm wrong. Nintendo wants Pal World for Switch 2. You know, I'll say this. The Xbox podcast that I wanted to share a little piece of it, but bandwidth didn't let me, I guess. Later into that show, they start talking about Pal World. They literally name drop Pal World, and I'm like, they name drop Pal World. Oh man, no, Microsoft name dropped Pal World. Nintendo didn't. But you know, Microsoft is a partner of Nintendo, so it's just interesting that they name drop Pal World like that. I actually would like to see Pal World on Switch 2. Now, am I going to play it? Probably not. I have it on PC, and I stopped playing it already. Interestingly, I started playing Pokemon instead. I finished the DLC, and I gotta say, I enjoyed the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. I thought the story and the characters were very fun. I liked some elements that they brought in; they were really cool. But the performance of the game is still a complete disaster. And recently, I caught up with One Piece, so now I'm in like I've watched One Piece several times over, right? But like I haven't been watching a show lately. Aside from that, I've caught up with One Piece, and I beat all the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. So now I'm like in this limbo of like, oh, what do I watch next? What do I play next? And so today I decided to fire up Pokemon Legends Arceus, and the game just feels so much better than Scarlet and Violet. It's really jarring just to see the difference. Like you play Scarlet and Violet for a while, then you jump in and play Pokemon Legends Arceus, and you're like, whoa, this game feels so much better and it plays so much smoother. And that's just because the game is a complete game. I would actually argue there are elements in Scarlet and Violet that are better graphically than Legends Arceus, but Legends Arceus overall is a much more pleasant experience. Now, I'm not even saying it's perfect. Still has issues, but Legends Arceus just feels like it's just so much more polished than Scarlet and Violet, and it's a real shame. Because I think there's something special in Scarlet and Violet. Like there are good things that are being done in Scarlet and Violet, but its lack of depth and polish just really hampered the experience. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, I honestly, back to your point, Brewing Storm, Power World on Switch 2 doesn't totally shock me. I think that makes sense. We'll see what happens though. Joycey J with a super chat as well. Thank you for the super chat, Joycey. I really appreciate it. Joycey says, no one lied. No one promised anything. Rumors are just for fun, speculative conversations. Folks need to chill because you can be anyone on social media. Be kind. Also, hi, Andres. Hello there, Joycey. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Going back to the chat. Kevin Miller here says, let me see if I can put this up. This is cool. I appreciate this, Kevin. Kevin says, Andres, you literally end every video by saying, but what do you think? You present the info and give your thoughts on what it points to. Yes, that's what I try to do. And thank you for pointing that out. The thing is, a lot of people aren't going to watch till the end of the video, but you do, Kevin. You're the MVP here. Thank you. Let's see. Sam West. They also name dropped Pocket Pair, right? Like that's the developer for them. Hyper Mario Sunshine asks, do you have the source from Family Boards? Yes, actually. You're talking about the other person that's supporting the notion of a delayed partner, correct? I do. So this is just what some people told me. I'm not super well versed in this, but yeah, I don't know if I want to share it. Well, I mean, I'll share it. I'll share it briefly. It's fine. It's public information. It's not. So on Family Boards, they have like, they have private messages, and there are certain things they're not supposed to share and others. There's no sort of thing like that. So I'll just share it briefly. So here, Brazil says, past record is irrelevant, and when all that matters is the next high. It's the reason why I stopped talking about direct dates years ago. It's not worth it. The most I'll do is talk about it in a very low-key way to people who watch my live streams, just as a heads up that I'll be live at a weird time that day of. I will stand by Necro on this one, however, because a direct was 100% scheduled for today and has been postponed to next week, and I find the way he's getting treated on Twitter very bleeped up. Not worth it, man. And so that's that. People apparently acknowledge this person, but he's not trying to be a leaker nowadays, so he doesn't have a lot of notoriety nowadays publicly outside of Family. But there you go. Let's see here. Cloud9 asks me, do you think Nintendo would have any interest in nullifying industry insiders to protect themselves from their anticipated transition to the next console generation? Do I think Nintendo would have any interest in nullifying industry insiders to protect themselves from their anticipated transition to the next console generation? So it's interesting to think about that. Like, I don't think Nintendo likes leaks, right? I don't think Nintendo is happy when their details are stated ahead of time. Like Pioro, the most reliable leaker, I almost don't like hearing from Pioro before a direct because I kind of want to be surprised. I do think Pioro intentionally doesn't say a lot on purpose for that reason, to not spoil people, at least partially why, and does say it in a cryptic like way, so there's room for interpretation, and in some ways kind of adds to the fun. But I do think there is something to the idea of Nintendo not wanting leaks to get out there. I guess the question is, does their strategy regarding leaks change at all as they go into next generation? I think there are times where Nintendo does a better job of not letting information get out there, right? Like, how much information really got out about Tears of the Kingdom? I feel like they're pretty quiet about that, right? And I would actually say that perhaps the reason why a lot of Nintendo game details don't actually get out there until right before is because no one in our sort of market is privy to that, right? Because a lot of these are Japanese devs. So most journalists or industry insiders don't have too many Japanese dev contacts. So it's challenging. But meanwhile, I would say we more often hear about projects that are made by English-speaking devs, right? You'll notice, whenever, we're more likely to hear about a Pikmin 3 Deluxe or a Metroid Prime Remastered because those aren't being made by Nintendo EPD. They're made by English-speaking developers. So they likely have friends in the industry, and then they have friends, and then eventually it gets out to someone who is a leaker, right? So I'm not sure if they're gonna do anything different. But for example, there's information that's out there about Switch 2, right? Rumor, right? But rumors that a lot of us think have credibility. So, but what I wanted to say was, but we don't know about some sort of crazy major gimmick is what I'm getting at, right? So the question is, do we not know about some sort of crazy gimmick because Nintendo is keeping it under wraps, or do we not know about some crazy gimmick because it doesn't exist? Because that's not what the Switch 2 has. It's just, it's more true to form. It's just basically a sequel to the Switch. I bet there's some minor things we don't know about, and how it all comes together. But in terms of for example, does it have VR? Does it come with a VR headset, right? That if Nintendo announces Switch 2 and has a VR headset, there are no crazy leaks about that. There might be some patents. There's a whole bunch of patents for a whole bunch of things. So yeah, it's tough. I'm just gonna say it's about status quo. I think there are some things Nintendo is better about not letting it get out there. But I don't know if they're making any sort of extra effort to nullify industry insiders, more so than usual. So we'll see. Let's see. Sweet Life of Dio Brando. I can believe delays happen in directs. You can believe it or you can't believe it. Delays happen. So this Xbox partner, I keep calling them. They are a partner, but this Xbox official podcast, there's a certain bit of fragility to it. It is kind of like the big topic of the week. Nintendo has moved things around before in the past. I brought up Advance Wars in my video today. Jeff Grubb cited the whole Queen situation, the death of the Queen, before we saw Tears of the Kingdom. And it's called Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like, think about it. The Queen passes away. They have a game that's called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's very on the nose, and it wasn't intentional, but it was just, it made sense to definitely have a conversation about not putting that there. Supposedly there was that was part of the issue. Yeah, let's see here. Chris Gonzalez says, a fellow YouTuber ripped someone last night for suggesting Nintendo postpone the Direct, saying that was just dumb and they would never do that on their live stream. Yeah, I'll say that I was on Attack the Backlogs live stream last night, and I saw someone bring up that question about them delaying it for the Xbox podcast, and my first thought was like, no, why would they do that? But something I didn't really think about, and I mean, the thought occurred to me a little bit later. I thought about, well, maybe there's a chance. It's because it's not just a normal Xbox event, right? This was something that they wanted the message to be really clear. They wanted to, address the uproar, and like I said, you look at how Nintendo handled the Queen situation. Supposedly, you look at how Nintendo delayed Advance Wars, went to Reboot Camp to the point that its sales were probably ruined. It's something to keep in mind in the future, right? If there's some sort of event that occurs where if Nintendo has their own event, it could impact perception in some way, they might adjust it if they can. Not like a significant amount of time, but a certain amount, right? So if this partner showcase is real, we'll probably see it next week. If it's not, then it's not. And we'll know. So, but anyways, I feel like I pretty much covered everything, right? So, I didn't plan on this being a long stream. I'll hang out for a couple more minutes. So if you guys have any questions or points you want to bring up, at me now. Send your chats now. But I'm going to wrap up here. 56TY, hello there. Gamebird Classic, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Eric Williams, thank you so much for your cool videos. Andres, please keep it up. I will do my best to keep it up. Yeah, I plan on it. I'm not gonna lie, right now is a rough time. It is rough for personally. From like I'm not sure how to word it. Like, I'm not gonna stop. Kind of can't stop. But the last 2 weeks have been tough. Like, I've tried to make good videos, but just like dealing with the negativity and the comments and all of that, it's been tough. So, and when I see certain things, I'm like, okay, well, let me see if I can do an even better job of being more clear and transparent, right? And then so like lately I've tried to explain in the beginning of the video, so hey guys, so this is why I'm making this video. Like, I try to explain in the beginning, hey, so I'm making this video today because these things are going on. I feel like if I talk about this topic now, it would do a good job to kind of address that conversation, right? Which is one of the reasons why I made the video yesterday. I made a video yesterday. It's a good example of that, where it was about it was just kind of talking about Nintendo's development pipeline and how we're seeing good signs of that Nintendo has a very healthy development pipeline, and how this bodes well for Nintendo's future lineup, right? Like, because right now, I'm sure a lot of fans are like, oh, where are the games? Even if the rumor is true, it's just a partner showcase. This sucks, and things of that nature. And so I want to put out that video to sort of argue, well, hold on, guys. Nintendo's had a really good software lineup throughout the year. We're seeing Nintendo do all these different things to really bolster their development pipeline. So one of the things I talked about is how we now have evidence that Princess Peach Showtime was made with Unreal Engine. It's another example of a Nintendo game being made with a third-party engine. And doing things like this it streamlines the process. Like they don't have to build their own proprietary engine. They can hire talent. So third talent that way they don't need as much training to figure out the Nintendo's own unique engine, but they can use something that most of the industry already understands. And so that helps out a lot, right? Or like how Nintendo's focusing on one platform now, or how Nintendo does have a lot of partners that they can reach out to make some of their games, or how they do a lot of remakes and remasters. So different things like this, I've tried to, I tried to kind of make that point with yesterday's video, right? And I tried to explain why I made that video. I try. I see here, Dragon Chi 26. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. They say, Andres, I don't blame you for anything, my dude. You have done nothing wrong. You only shared thoughts and opinions, no more, no less. Everyone overreacting needs to relax and take a chill pill. Thank you for that. I appreciate your support. It helps. Thank you. The real J-Stone adds to me, I think Nintendo once leaked their own titles back in September Direct in 2021, and Kirby Forgotten Land was leaked hours before the Direct started. Like, accidentally. We did see some promotional material for Princess Peach Showtime come out the day before the announcement yesterday. So, like the trailer. I don't know how that got out, but it did. Wilberforce Wooster, I think a lot of the negativity is because people want the Directs and Nintendo news, and they can't really take their frustration out on Nintendo. I think there's something to that. Gamer Classic adds me, you are well informed, you cite sources and go off of valid patterns. Don't let the negativity get to you. Keep rocking. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Redcap adds me, everyone wants Xenoblade Warriors, but the CEO of Koei Tecmo has said a few times recently that Mario is the IP he wants to work on most. Think it makes sense with the Mario lately. I would be annoyed, but I also, it depends. It depends how they do it. Like I personally am kind of tired of seeing Warriors games. I'm not saying they should stop. I'm just saying I want to see other spin-offs, like for example, a lot of people want another Zelda Warriors game, a third one. I would prefer Nintendo partner with someone else to make another kind of Zelda spin-off. Like the team behind the Prince of Persia game has said that they want to make a spin-off of Zelda 2, for example. That would be super cool. Imagine a Metroidvania remake of Zelda 2. Like reimagining, actually. That's a really cool spin-off. I want that. I don't want a third Warriors game. That's just me. A third Zelda Warriors game, I might add, because we have 2 Fire Emblem Warriors games, we have 2 Zelda Warriors games. So, that's just me. But we get another Warriors game, be it Xenoblade or Mario, I'll consider it. I'm a bigger Xenoblade fan than I am a Fire Emblem fan, so maybe I'll try. I have bought both of the Zelda Warriors games. I didn't actually play Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. I just bought it, started it, and I think I had bought it like right before Age of Calamity. I played through Age of Calamity, loved it, but I haven't felt compelled to go back. I might give it a try, but there's just something about like Age of Calamity brings in like some interesting Breath of the Wild like mechanics, which made me interested in it. I think Age of Calamity is a better Warrior game than the original Hyrule Warriors. Not that it's bad, but when they mix it up and bring in mechanics from the other series, that's really cool. I mean, like what they did with the Persona games. They made a Warriors Persona game, which was also interesting. Glazes World, aka Mary, asks me, you do a fantastic job with videos and coverage. Ignore the negative comments. You're rocking it. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see here. Ray Spence has renewed their membership for 3 months, and Ray says, you guys are taking the heat, but what if Big N secretly did this to slightly destroy the credibility of the leakers? Keep rocking, Andres. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like Nintendo doesn't care, but then I also I would have thought Nintendo wouldn't have cared about the Xbox podcast, but I didn't take into account the fragility of the situation. So, I don't know. I don't know if Nintendo intentionally. I do feel like Nintendo does like to have an air of unpredictability about them. I feel like there's something to that idea. I don't know if it's necessarily to derail leakers per se. But at the same time, they don't want leaks coming out either. So there's that. John Hutchin asks me, you're one of the most well thought out, well articulated young content creators out there. You're also entertaining and present info in such a way that makes people think. Thank you. That is the goal. That's honestly the goal. So if you feel that way, it makes me feel really great. Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way about it. Sky Swords Alyssa asks me, haters gonna hate. Love your content, man. You did nothing wrong. You are crystal clear. I love Hyrule Warriors, but I would like a Zelda 2 spinoff because I would try it again for sure. Exactly. That would be a Zelda 2 spinoff would be so cool. So cool. Anyway, I think that is it for tonight. I know tonight was a shorter stream. Thank you, everyone, for the fantastic comments, all the positivity. It definitely helps me. Content's still coming. I at least have the Metroid video recorded, so that's coming tomorrow. Not sure what we'll do after that, but I got ideas. So we'll see what happens. But thank you all, and I guess we'll see what happens next week with those Xbox games. Have a good one.